You're watching one of a series of videos where Alisa Childers and I respond to 23 progressive Christian claims, kind of like a progressive Christian manifesto that was written by Ragamuffin TV. We deal with these claims, some good, some bad, some ugly, and I'm hoping that this helps you to think biblically.
Number 18. God is not going to, there's a lot about hell in these, isn't there? God is not going to send you to hell because you got his name wrong.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I will, almost as a side note, just because you mentioned there's a lot about hell. Hell's like a spot where there's like a watershed moment. You're going to go one way or the other.
Yeah.
You will eventually either affirm mankind really is deserving of judgment and God is righteous, or you will have to get rid of hell somehow.
Yeah.
And
I also want
it's
to ask
uncomfortable
people
to look into the world and tell them, yeah, we're all sinners who really are, deserving of God's judgment.
I also want to ask people what they think hell is when I hear a lot of these claims, because I get the feeling they might be operating on some misconceptions about hell. But how would you?
Yeah.
And it seems to under this one, God is not going to send you to hell because you got his name wrong. Obviously, the point they're trying to make is if you call him Buddha or you call, well, I know Buddhists don't actually worship Buddha, but if you call him Vishnu or you call him something else, he's not gonna send you to hell because you got his name wrong. And in an interesting situation, I actually put this in my book, a situation in the class that I was in where one of the guys that ended up going progressive or more in that direction did so because he had visited a Buddhist temple and he observed the monks in their reverence and in their it felt so good to him, and he saw them with such honor and nobility, bowing and worshiping whatever they were worshiping. And he said, I just can't believe in a God that wouldn't accept that worship. I believe God accepts that worship. And so I think that's what's underneath this question is God's not going to send you to hell because you didn't get his name right. So how would you respond to that?
Well, I mean, okay, so again, I can agree with the words, but probably not what they mean by them. Like, thank God, it doesn't matter if you say Jesus or Yeshua or Yehoshua or Jesus or Yesu, don't care. The name's not what's important. The identity is what's important. And the golden calf incident is actually a really good example of this, because when Aaron makes the golden calf and Moses is up, talking to God and the people are there and he makes an idol. If you look at it in the Hebrew, what he declares to the people is, this is Yahweh who led you out of Egypt. He takes the name of God and puts it on an idol. And to prove that name alone isn't the thing that does it, God still punishes the people for that. In other words, it's the identity that matters, not the name. So you can call, let's say you say God or you say Elohim or you say Jehovah or Yahweh. That's not super relevant as far as the syllable expressions. But if you say identity doesn't matter, now there's a problem, because if you say Krishna or say Buddhist, let me give you an illustration. Let's say that you see a video of me and I'm with the girl and I got my arm around her and my wife's name's Allison, right? So she's Allison and I'm hugging her and you can just see the love and the sincerity in my heart. I have so much compassion for this woman, and you think, well, that's so beautiful. Later you find out that even though she was named Allison, that wasn't my wife. That was some other woman. It doesn't matter how loving my compassion is. It was evil. It was to the wrong person. And so love and devotion given to a false god is like adultery, which is what God relates it to in the Old Testament. He goes, this is adulterous. What you're doing with these false gods is adultery. That belongs to me. If your friend thought, or this person thought, God will accept the worship that comes from those Buddhists, but the worship from the Buddhists isn't offered to God.
Yeah.
It's not worship of God.
Yeah.
So this is adultery. Adultery, people don't realize that adultery can involve very much compassion and love and all kinds of like positive relationship qualities. It's the identity of the person being wrong that makes it adultery. And that's the same case for false religions.
Yeah.
I'm going to be putting up one of these videos every single day until the entire series is uploaded on my channel with a playlist, so you might want to subscribe if you want to get those notifications. But if you can't wait, there's links to the 2 video interviews in large form that I already did on Alisa Childers' channel down below.